Like I said, my name is Dave Will. I'm the co-founder and CEO of PropFuel. Really happy to have you guys here. I'm going to take you through a few things before you go into your breakout rooms and you're going to get dirty today. Let me share my screen with you. All right. So we are going to, today is all about member renewals. Before I go any further, can I ask you to update? I see Robson nodding his head. Robson is, wave Robson, wave for us. Robson is the one that's been coordinating this whole thing for us. He asked me to ask you guys if you wouldn't mind updating your names with your full name, the name as you registered, so we know what group to assign you to, the name of your association. And ideally, if you could, not ideally, we need this information. Are you a professional or a trade association? Primarily. I know there's some that have organizational members and so on, but primarily in terms of who you're trying to win back today, are you focused on professionals or trade associations? All right. With that, thank you. Please update your names or at least put it in the chat. Today, for the next 15 minutes, I want to talk to you a little bit about what PropFuel does. I want to make sure we're all on the same page in terms of expectations for the day. I'm also keeping an eye on chat. Yep, thank you, Megan. Let us know in chat if you're a trader professional. If you have any questions or something you want to comment on, or if you think you're in the wrong place, that's fine too. Today is a workshop. It's not a webinar. You're not going to sit and watch. You're going to sit and participate. If that's not what you signed up for, you're welcome to Ding Dong Ditch, and you can set up a time to meet with us another time or come to one of our webinars. But this is a participatory thing. David, I see you're with VPPPA. You are an existing client of ours, so you're in the wrong place. You're welcome to participate, but this is for organizations that are not currently using PropFuel. By all means, if you are using PropFuel already, we have client workshops. This is designed in a way for organizations that have not had an account. This is a one check-in campaign. If you want to stick around just to observe and see what it's like, you're welcome to, but this is not designed for existing clients because existing clients will have a much more robust program. So what I would recommend, David, is that you connect with who's working with VPPPA?
It's me.
Clara. You connect with Clara, and it's Clara at propfuel.com. Connect with Clara, and you can set up a time to work on your renewal campaign directly with her. All right. Having said all that, we're going to go into breakout rooms as soon as I'm done yapping here. And over the next few weeks, the PropFuel team is going to reach out to you to discuss the results. There is, I don't want to mislead anyone. The whole reason we're doing this is because we want to show you how awesome this is. We want to show the incredible results, and we want you to join our team and become a client of PropFuel. We want you using PropFuel. If you choose not to, it's okay. We're not going to hunt you down. But I believe if you actually are sending out a campaign today, you're going to find that the results are incredible. The results are unbelievable. Many people I've noticed come to the workshop. They just want to get a feel for how to build the things, and that's okay too. And then I would say about half the people that participate in this end up actually sending out a campaign. Some will do it today, and some over the next week or two will send out their campaign to their list of people. And then some won't do it at all. So I think I just went through this, but I would appreciate it if you would turn on your cameras and that you're 100% focused on the workshop. What happens is when you get in the room, if you drift off, you start doing email, or you're distracted by something else, or you take a phone call. When you come back, Ashley or Clara or Megan have moved on, and they need to come back and help you catch up. So I appreciate it if you'd be 100% focused on the workshop. And of course, what's more fun than creating renewal campaigns? So let's have some fun with this, right? I know our team has a lot of fun doing these things. Whoops. All right. Let's start with some of the basics. One of the biggest reasons why associations are challenged, and tell me if this resonates with you. Incredible results. Yes, Aaron, I will say I'll show you what incredible results mean, and I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. Thank you. Great segue. But first, let me explain part of the problem. Part of the problem is that, and I want to focus on this first one. A lot of members don't have a great experience because they don't know how to match up their needs with the value that your association offers. What I can point out, an example of that I'd like to mention, I had a physical therapist, and when I was getting work done on my body because I needed some therapy that was physical. But when I had some therapy done, he asked me what I did, and I explained, and he said he didn't understand what I did and who I work with. It's like, well, you probably belong to a physical therapy association of the American sort. And he said, yes, he did, but he doesn't anymore. And I said, well, why not? What happened? He's like, there just wasn't any value for me. I wasn't getting anything out of it. And I was just blown away because, whoops, because as you can imagine, APTA, which is, of course, American Physical Therapy Association that he was referencing, has an immense amount of value. And it's a few $100s a year, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, how could he possibly, as a physical therapist, not be getting that value? And he showed me one of the emails. We had a pretty in-depth conversation because I got into this with him, but he showed me one of the emails they sent, and it was riddled with links. It had like 50 links in it. It was just a ton, it was a dump truck of information, as I've heard people describe it. And it was a little overwhelming. It required him to search for the value. And that's one of the problems, I think, with the way we've been trained. We have the wrong tools that don't give us the ability to communicate clearly and to match your value proposition to specific member needs. So that's what Prop Fuel was designed to do. Of course, we also don't know our members very well sometimes, and we don't have the right data. We don't have updated information. So that results in, of course, for many associations, not all, it's about half of associations, based on the reports I've seen, have a declining member retention. They have, or their membership is shrinking. Actually, it might be different than declining member retention, but their membership is shrinking, slow growth. They have disengaged members or unengaged members. I think the feeling you all have is you send out these emails and you just don't get the click-through rates. You don't get the engagement. You don't get the conversions you're looking for. And you feel like after you send out a dozen emails, people are still saying, oh, I didn't get that email, or I didn't know my membership hadn't renewed. You sent out a dozen emails. How could they not see it? Well, because they're not paying attention. They're disengaged. They've been trained to delete the emails when they come through. So we have a process here at PropFuel called Ask, Capture, Act. It's a really, really simple process that starts with a question. All of our emails begin with a question. By the way, we have what you're working on today is an email campaign, but we have email, SMS, and we just came out this quarter. We just came out with a website interaction tool as well. So you can do this whole process right there on your website as well. But we're talking about email today. Ask questions, capture insight at the individual level, which then triggers actions again at the individual level. I think of this more like a choose your own adventure book, but this is called conversational engagement because it mimics how we interact with each other when we have a conversation. You ask a question, hey, how's it going? You capture the input. Oh, it's not going so well. With act. So that triggers a little compassion. Well, why not? What's going on? All right. So a lot of use cases. A lot of use cases. New member engagement is very, very common. Questions like, hey, why did you join? Based on why they joined, we can give them relevant information. Lots of other case studies that you can see here are use cases, but the one we're going to focus on today is member renewals. Now, this is very, very similar to lapsed member win back, and it's also very similar to one I don't see on here, which ought to be on here, which is certificate or certification renewal as well. But I think that falls in the member renewal category. Typically, what we see with our clients that come to us with the renewal process needs revamping is number one is they feel like, well, maybe not number one, maybe let's start with number four. They feel like they're sending this email into a void. Pennsylvania Medical Society had a problem. Now they were going over after lapsed members. Now it's a very similar process, but they were going after lapsed members and they sent email after email after email and they were getting zero responses, like literally zero responses. Yet they had persistence, so they kept going. And when we came to them, they were skeptical they were going to have any success, and we sent it out, and they had I want to say it was a 16% response rate from an otherwise completely unresponsive group of people. They had 600 people renew as a result of that particular campaign. I use that one as an example oftentimes because it was just awesome. Not everybody has that level of success, especially when going out to lapsed members, but that's an example. I mean, oftentimes you just feel like people aren't seeing this stuff. Um, I'm not going to drill down into all these problems. You guys know the problems you have with your with your renewal campaigns, but this is what we typically see. Not to pick on ACMP. In fact, ACMP changed this completely, and I'll show you an example of what they send out now. But this is their old renewal process. You see there's a ton of links, tons of words, TLDR all over this. And at the bottom, yeah, I just learned. I see you smirking, Megan. I I uh, I I had to Google TLDR when somebody said that to me like 6 months ago, and now I use it to show off how much I know about the internet and stuff. So, but this is you'll see there's a lot of words here and a lot of links, and then a button that says renew. Now, here's the problem with this. If the only way you know what's going on with the member is if they actually click on renew now, I mean, renew today, and they actually renew. That's the only way you have any insight in what's going on here. If they click on the button and don't do anything, well, what just happened? What does that mean? If they don't click on the button, does that mean they're not renewing? Did they see this? Did they get it? So there's so many unknowns. The only valuable scenario here is if they renew. Another example like is ASAE does something very, very similar, pay online. I mean, this one is a little more dramatic, and they've changed. I think they send out they go both. They send their old school renewal campaign, but then they also do it through PropFuel now as well. I don't know what this one is in reference to, but here these are just examples of renewal campaigns that have this old school. And this one's actually not so bad, but it just because it's shorter. The call to action is a little more obvious. The problem is, again, you still have no idea what their intent is. And if they aren't going to renew, you don't know why. So this is what ACMP turned theirs into. Very short, very conversational nature. It's like you bumped into somebody at Walmart and you're like, oh, hey, I noticed you hadn't renewed. Are you planning to renew your membership? And so based on this, you're trying to reduce the friction. You're not necessarily, and a lot of these don't say, I want to renew now, because that's a heavy commitment. Might just say, yeah, I'm planning to renew. Well, I guess that's what I need more time is. But there's a lot of different variations of this. One is yes, no, or not sure. But anyway, if there's a negative response of any sort, well, don't you want to know why? So we'll take this and we'll turn it into another question behind this. They said, well, why not? What happened? And then if they say something like, oh, well, I'm retiring, well, that's when you throw your retirement program at them and say, hey, well, did you know we have a retirement program? So, and for the people that said yes, well, we all have seen those people that say, yeah, I'm totally going to renew, and then they don't, right? But now we have a very targeted list of people who said, yeah, I'm going to renew. And we hit them up with what's called a nurturing campaign. So, and then the people that responded didn't respond. Well, we hit them up again and again and again until they respond. And eventually you get down to a list of pretty short list of people, and you pick up the phone and you call them. But now you have a short list of people to call rather than thousands of people you have to call. So this is the concept behind PropFuel. So in a bigger campaign, we might have a 5-part automated renewal campaign like this. This is what it looks like in the back end. And it might go out 30 days, another 25, 15, 1 month later. So these are the kinds of questions, all very short in nature. They're triggered to capture intent so that we can nurture them. And again, we're removing people from this campaign. This is what a couple of the other questions might look like. Now, what you're working on today is very, very simple. It's one check-in. Are you planning to renew? And the idea is to give you a taste for what you're going to get. Now, these are the results you're going to see, Aaron. So this is not uncommon. This is not an outlier in terms of what you're going to see. So this, I don't see which client this was in particular, but again, this is not uncommon to see a 56% engagement rate. Now, these are what that means, the way we define engagement rate in this number right here is the percentage of people that have responded to at least one question in the check-in, and that's all we need in a renewal campaign. You just need them to answer one of the questions. You got more than half of the members you sent this to respond one way or another. Um, uh, the average, what is the average click rate was 27% with a high of 30. Okay, so of the several campaign emails that were sent out, the average was 27% and the highest was 38%, totaling 56% of people engaged in this particular campaign. So that's the kind of results you're going to see from this. And again, the most valuable part is now you've figured out how to engage people based on the response. In this scenario, 44% of people, you still don't know anything about them. You got to figure out another way to get in touch with them. I would suggest you keep going. Oftentimes these campaigns aren't long enough. They're like 5 check-ins. So keep going with them. But now you've cut the number of people that you need to touch base with down in half. And then you'll have people that said yes. You'll have people that said no. You have very targeted approaches for reaching out to them and nurturing campaigns. Aaron, I hope that answers your question in terms of what kind of success you're going to see. Again, this is not uncommon. This is what I would say is the most valuable kind of campaign that you see immediate results from. Now, integrations, when you're doing multiple check-ins, and integration is really important. We call them connectors because they're super, super easy. You know, of course, depending on the database you're connected to, like I think Dynamics can be a little more complicated than like Nimble. Like a Salesforce connector is really, really simple. And then, you know, so and we work with HubSpot and we work with all kinds of other tools, MailChimp and Emma, but there's just about every single AMS is in here because when somebody renews, we want to take them out of the campaign. Now, again, with a one check-in campaign, that doesn't matter. Finally, I think I have this in an expectation slide, then I'm going to get you guys into your breakout rooms. When or if you choose to move forward with PropFuel, the team that is working with you in your workshops today, Clara and Megan and Ashley, they're going to work with you and get you on board. We have a 3-month period where we use that period as time to get your foundational campaigns, not just new member, not just the renewal campaign, but new member onboarding, whatever campaigns you want to build. We work with you to teach you how to use the platform. We hold your hand through the process, and you have a graduation three months after kickoff. So that's what the fully managed onboarding is all about. Now, for today, you're going to break up in these small groups. You got Ashley, Megan, and Clara you're going to be working with. You have, let's see, a list. You may, I hope, the more the better. I love to see you guys put your lapsed member into the platform and get this email out. You're going to see awesome results. And if you set up your DNS settings, that means it's going to come from your domain. If you did not, it's going to come from the PropFuel domain, which is fine. It's a one check-in campaign. There's no reminder. It's going to reduce the results a little, but there's no reminder, no nurturing. This is bare bones, super simple, one email, just to give you a feel for what it's like. You'll have a campaign scheduled to go out to lapsed members, or oh yes, so this is basically saying, look, you're going to experience it and see the results, or at the very least, you're just going to see how to work in PropFuel, what it looks like behind the scenes, and what the process is to build a campaign. So we need your full attention for the next hour and 38 minutes, give or take. I'd ask that you put away your cell phones, shut down your email, stay focused. You're going to find it extremely valuable. And I think, Megan, do we do breaks in these things or we make people hold it?
Yeah, with you. Well, whatever we need, we'll do.
All right. So here's the thing. If you guys need a break, you want to take a little break. If Megan's getting nasty in there, then you just say, Megan, I think you need a break. That's what you say. All right. So with that, I think all the rooms are set up. Robson, what are the next steps? How do we get people in their rooms?
We just open up the rooms and we're all set.
And they pick them or will they go into the rooms
Nope,
automatically?
already set up.
Guys, I'm so happy you're here. Before you go, are there any questions for me? Feel free to just unmute and ask a question or put it in the chat. All right. Again, I encourage you, keep your cameras on. You're going to find it way more valuable with the cameras on, and talk to the person running your workshop. It's a heck of a lot more fun if you guys are vocal and interactive with them. All right. Excellent. I'm so happy to see you all here. Have a great afternoon.
Today. My name is Clara, and I'm one of the client success managers here at Prop Fuel. Bear with me today. I'm battling a little bit of a cold, so I may have to go on mute to cough or blow my nose or something like that. But so just bear with me today. But again, thank you all for being here. I've been with Prop Fuel for about a month and a half, but I am not new to Prop Fuel. I actually used it as a client at my former association. I was on the membership side at the Biotechnology Innovation Organization. So very familiar with it from both the client side as well as on the back end side now. So it'd be great before we dive into the platform to just do kind of a quick round of introductions of those that are here today. I'm going to pass it off to Ashley, who's also with Prop Fuel, then we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Ashley. I've been with PropFuel for about 3.5 years now. I'm also a client success manager, but this is Clara's show, so I'm just going to jump in if you all need help. I also have about 10 years of experience at associations. That's kind of what we hang our hat on is all of our client success managers have association or nonprofit experience. So we consider ourselves one of you. We have a lot of that expertise and we kind of walk alongside our clients when they join PropFuel. So with that, I guess I'll just pass it to the person on my right. Laura, do you want to go?
Hi, I'm Laura O'Connor. I'm Director of Membership with CFMA, the Construction Financial Management Association.
Awesome. Marley?
Hi, I'm Marley Dubrow. I work at Optica as the Senior Manager of Membership.
Kelly?
Hi, I'm Kelly Kochi. I'm a membership manager of the American Fisheries Society.
Eduardo?
Hi, I'm Eduardo Duran. I'm the director for membership operations for American Welding Society.
Awesome. Jackie?
Hi, I'm Jackie Miracle. I'm Director of Membership at Academy of General Dentistry.
Liz?
Hi, I'm Liz. I handle the events and the marketing for Citation Jet Pilots. And I will let Clara, you and Ashley know I'll be camera on and off throughout this, but I'll be paying attention.
Thanks for letting us know. And finally, Ron.
I'm Ron Shepard. I'm the CEO of the Professional Ski Instructors America Central Region.
Very nice.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
We're both in the middle of a renewal process where we've just started the renewal campaign for 2025 renewals for everyone who's going to be expiring at the end of December. But even then, we don't expire them right away. So is this more for renewals or lapsed members? I was kind of mixed on the presentation, which one it's better for.
Yeah, it'll mainly be focused on renewals, but we do have campaigns focused on lapsed members and lapsed member win backs as well. So this one today, you'll notice in the check-ins that the question is basically, are you planning to renew? But we do have campaigns built or blueprints built that focus on those lapsed members that may have expired as well.
Okay, and I was told by, I think, Robson Rodriguez that we didn't have to send the campaign out today. I'm not even sure if my person has finished setting up the DNS domain thing. I sent her the text. I figured out how to do that this morning, but I don't know if it's set up. Do we have to send it out today? He said it would be ready to go, but we can do it in the next month or two. I kind of want to do some other campaigns before this. This seems I don't know, maybe too soon. I've only sent out one renewal notice so far.
Actually, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So Kelly, all of you will have access to your account. I want to say it's for 2 months, but I'll confirm that before we get off today. So you could certainly come back and send the email when you're ready. I would say for a lapsed member campaign. So go ahead and run the blueprint that Clara's going to show you today. And then when we go to edit it, you can make tiny little edits. And instead of saying renewing your membership, you can say reinstate your membership or whatever you would say for a lapsed member. That's really the only change you'll see. And then when you're ready, you can send it. And we'll have somebody on our team reach out to you to make sure you don't have questions or anything like that. So it's not like we're going to give you the campaign and then be like, all right, you're on your own. So you have some time.
Okay, but we don't have to send it out today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions before I start sharing?
I'm gonna have to get off early. I've been trying to get on this thing for like 3, 4, or 5 months now, and I always get something in the middle of it. So I apologize, but I really wanted to participate, and I have to run a webinar, so like I can't just get on at 3 o'clock, you know?
Yeah, no, that's important. So this will be recorded and we can make sure that Robson or whoever might be sharing it with you so you get access to it and can watch it
Okay,
wherever
thank
you
you.
have to jump off. So, okay, awesome. I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see prop fuel in a sticky note? Okay. So our sticky note on the left-hand side is sort of our task list for the day. So just a schedule of what we're hoping to get through in this next hour and a half or so. Obviously, we've already done introductions, so we can check that one off. You all also were all able to log into your prop fuel account, so that one gets checked off too, which is great. Before we dive into actually building out the campaign and kind of putting in those various edits that you might have, I did just want to give you a brief overview of what it's going to look like when you build it, just so that you know what you can expect when you run the campaign. But this is basically what a prop fuel check-in will look like. We're, like Dave said, only going to run one check-in question today. And so that question we're going to ask today is, are you planning to renew your membership? And so once we go in and actually start editing it, which we'll do next, I can show you, Kelly, where you would edit that question so you can change it to how you would like to change it. And then based on how they're going to answer this question, we'll have various workflows kind of explaining what they'll do next. So if they say yes, we're going to send them to a landing page and then send them a follow-up email. If they say, I need more time, we will send them to some more information about benefits and say we'll reach out later. And then if they say no, and we'll dive into this a little bit more further along, but we'll branch them to another question, basically asking them why. All of these answers are editable, so if you don't want to word it that way, you can word it a different way, and we can change it up when we're in the actual campaign as well. And then finally, the last component of a prop fuel check-in is that email template. So you want to edit that email template to fit your need. You can change the colors, you can change everything with that. We'll go through that when we edit the actual blueprint as well. But just wanted to show you kind of what you could expect when you actually run the blueprint when we do that later on. And then the last thing I want to show you before we move into actually building the blueprint is what it's going to look like when you send out the email. And so you're able to send yourself test emails within Prop Fuel. You can do so by hitting this gear icon, then hitting send test check-in. We'll go through this again when we get to that point closer to when you're ready to run the campaign. So it'll just send automatically to yourself and you'll hit send. I already have it pulled up, but it'll come into my inbox in a second. But basically, it's an email with a question asking, are you planning to renew? And then the individual is able to check whatever checkbox or whatever box response they would like to, and they'll be redirected to those workflows that you built out on the blueprint side. And then, like I said, there's web pages, there's follow-up emails. We'll go through all the various things you can do within those workflows as well. And really, you'll notice, and I know that Dave showed some examples as well, these are a bit different than maybe some of the other renewal emails you've sent in the past, where it's just a ton of information on how they can renew, what their benefits are, everything like that. This is really meant to kind of be more conversational, for you to gather data on those members, understand what they're thinking, and then make sure they're getting the information they need to do whatever they need to do next. So it's really more of a conversation platform where you're able to ask the question, act on what they're saying, and kind of gather that data as well. So I'll pause there real quick to see if there are any questions before we start running a campaign. And we'll dive a lot deeper into all of that That was a really quick overview of what you'll see. So,
Hi, Clara. This is Liz with Citation Jet Pilots, and you might go over this. So if you do, please let me know. But I'm wanting to see if I can also use this platform just to get information on my members. We are a group of pilots, so there's safety questions that I want to ask. Are they interested in certain events? Getting feedback about different things. So would this be a platform I could use that for as well? Or are you really just strictly to do you want to continue with the membership? Why don't you see value in it?
no, there's a lot of use cases for prop fuel. Today we're only focusing on renewals, but there's an opportunity, especially for what you just said, for collecting profile information. So whether that be confirming contact information or interest areas, or if you wanted to run some questions asking if they're interested in certain topic areas or certain events, there's a lot of different opportunities to use prop fuel to gather that information. We're just simply doing renewals today. So. Did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, does everybody have prop fuel pulled up on a screen somewhere? Seeing some head nods,
Yeah.
and some thumbs up. Cool.
Not just looking at yours, our own, right? Is that what you're referring?
Sorry?
You're referring to our own
Your own
fuel.
prop fuel. Yes, this is
Okay.
my test account. Yours.
Like well, I'm looking at yours, like going, yeah, I have prop fuel.
The page should look similar. It's just gonna have a different like logo and information at the top.
I had it this morning. I'm trying to figure out where it went. So I keep
Give
getting
it
the
a
page
second.
you were looking for doesn't exist. Just one of the links. It's not working. Where'd it
The
go?
link. Oh, you got it. I was gonna put it in the chat. But...
I seriously was logged in earlier. I don't know what happened. And now I'm getting okay. Try it again.
All right, let us know when you're good, Kelly.
Okay, I literally was logged in this morning and now it's, I remember my password automatically came up. I don't know what it is now.
And Kelly, I don't know if you see a reset password button there. Sometimes that's easier than trying to remember your password. We make it pretty simple to reset it.
Hold on, I think, no. Found a post-it note, but it wasn't the right one. It just said Mike Arisco. Okay. All right, I'll find it. I'll figure it out. Okay, you're saying I'm good to the help desk sign up?
Sorry.
What does she say to do if I can't log in?
There should be a forget password button.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's help desk sign up. What agent sign in? I was able to log in this morning for the help. I don't know.
Kelly, what's your association's name again? I'm sorry.
American Fishery Society. Hold on, I'm starting fresh. Okay, I'm there. I'm good.
Okay, awesome. So everyone else is good too? I saw some head nods, some thumbs up. Good. Okay. So when you first open Prop Fuel, this is the first page that you're going to see. Yours should look empty because we haven't run any campaigns. But if you continue to use Prop Fuel, you'll see on this page all the various campaigns you're sending. You'll see those insights of the last 30 days. You can change it from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days to see those insights. So it's a great overview. You'll actually see what the insights per each campaign are within the campaign, but this is what your first page will be when you open up Prop Fuel. Once you're in, you'll want to navigate down to campaigns on the left-hand side. And then you'll click this blue button called New Campaign. And on the left-hand side, you'll see various blueprints. These are all things that The prop field team has built out that are blueprints for the various campaign types. They use best practices to kind of pull in the various check-ins, include the best practices when it comes to landing pages and everything like that. So these are pre-built blueprints that you can run for your campaign, so it saves you a ton of time. But for today's purposes, we're going to drop down the renewal, and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and we're going to be running the workshop blueprint renewal check-in for individual members. Is everyone there or sees it?
Yep.
Okay. So once you're there, you will click on it, and you'll see this pop-up screen. On this screen, you will fill out some information on your association. And then with this information, once it's filled out, it'll auto-generate all of the information into your check-in that you're going to be sending. So, campaign name, we're going to call this one, and fill it out with your own information. I'm going to fill it out for our purposes, but fill it out with your own association information for today.
Hey, Clara, what is the membership email address?
Yep. So that would be if you have a membership email address. So if you had like a membership at Citation Jet Pilots, could be an information email if you have like an info.
Okay.
If you don't have any of that, you could just copy the reply to and stick it in there if you needed to. Everyone good?
I have a question. Typically, when we send out a membership email, we have like from membership, but I don't know if that's going to mess things up with how this works. Should I just use my own? Is it?
For the reply to?
Yeah, for like the send and reply to.
You can put it in for what you'd prefer it to be, and we can always tweak it. There's places you can edit it within the template when we get to that point.
But that brings up a good point, Kelly, and I know it sometimes confuses folks. The sender's name and sender's job title, that's just friendly from name and friendly job title. That's just going to display as like who it's being sent from. But then the reply to email address is the one that we actually send from and where replies will go. So like if out of office replies or anything like that, as well as if somebody replies to the email instead of answers it and says like, hey, I need help. So you want it to be an inbox that you actually monitor.
Do you have any sort of best practices advice on that? I sometimes think that like membership ad sounds too generic. We're not worried about, I feel like sometimes if you use your own name, it's more personal. Like might have more weight too versus membership department. I mean, there's literally two of us, and the membership email box gets monitored by like a coordinator, someone who kind of that's her job is to monitor that email box, whereas I have more like higher level things to do. So I'm just, I don't have time to constantly fix passwords and this and that and the other like she does. But so I'm just like kind of wondering the best practice for that, if there is something.
So I would suggest on the actual email send, making sure that it's from a person. So making sure that it's from Kelly, from the name. The email reply to address, like Ashley was saying, could be your membership one in case they respond. But your sender's name should be from a person typically. And then we can put in the template in the email like a signature from you, so at least it's like looking like it's coming from you, but actually it's going to be replied to at a general inbox.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you don't want to if you put your email address here, you might get all of those emails back to you, and it's just a little easier to manage in a general inbox.
Okay.
Awesome. And so if everything is entered how you'd like it to be, you're going to hit run. And this is kind of cool. This is, again, just one check-in, but for any of the bigger check-ins that you might be doing, there are 50 things that we would have had to generate on our own had there not been a blueprint. So it just kind of shows you how our blueprints have really helped save time because they're built out for you. And so really all you have to do is double check it and test it and everything like that, which is what this pop-up that you're seeing on your screen if you hit run shows, is that AI generates the content using what you put in to that form you just filled out. And so it's important to always double check and test because I think we all know that sometimes AI can make some mistakes and you want to make sure things are worded how you want them to be worded. So you can just hit close. It's basically just a warning message. Is everybody on this screen now? Have we all gotten to this point?
Yes.
Okay. So again, this looks really similar to what I had showed you at the top of the call today, with that one check-in and the various components. And so now that we've run it for each of your campaigns, I'm going to show you those 3 places where you would edit a campaign, as well as how you can add different sort of workflows and edit those workflows within PropFuel. So the 3 components of a PropFuel check-in are the question, the workflows, and the template. And we'll go through each of those so you can see where you need to edit things if you need to edit them. So the first place is the question. So the question we're asking is, are you planning to renew your membership? If you wanted to see what the answer selections were or tweak that at all, you can hit this little pencil that says edit this question. So like for your purposes, Kelly, if you wanted to change it to, do you want to reinstate your membership or something like that, this is where you could edit it. Right now it's a multiple choice question just because we're giving them multiple selections, but you could change that question type if you needed to. You could ask follow-up questions. All of this stuff isn't necessarily relevant at this point in time. We could dive deeper into that when you build out some different campaigns. But this is where the question is. So if you want to tweak that question at all, you can change this. You're also able to change what the answers say. So if we wanted to be a bit more aggressive and put, yes, I'd like to renew now, we could put a period there. Or we could add different things to it if you wanted to as well. So you have full capability to edit the question and edit the answers as well. Once you're done, you'll hit save question. So now you've edited the question. If you've tweaked the question at all, you'll notice that there's an exclamation mark on this. I'll go through what that means in a second. But the 2 now, once you've edited the question, the 2 most important buttons from this point forward are going to be this workflow button, which is the arrow to the right, and then the gear icon. So we'll start with the workflows. So you'll click on that arrow. And this part is where you determine what happens when someone selects one of those answer choices. So this is really where you're in control of, you've moved from the ask to the capture, and now you're acting on that capture of the information that they're providing. So to start, we'll go just down each of these. So if they say, yes, I'd like to renew now, we were receiving the error message because I changed that exclamation mark to a period instead. And so it'll catch you if you change small things within it, which is great because it allows you to double check that you're putting the right answer selections in your workflows. So if that happens, it'll open up this page and it just basically you have to change the selection to what that updated one was. So in this case, it's still the same answer. It just was a change in the punctuation. And then you'll hit save trigger. So if they say, yes, I'd like to renew now, they are going to be brought to a landing page that basically says, that's great. We're thrilled that you want to renew the membership. You can do so by clicking on this link. And if you have any questions, you can email or give us a call. You could add more information to this if you wanted to, like here's an overview of benefits. If you wanted to add that in, You could add in bullet points if you wanted to add in some more information. It's nice with these ones, if they do say yes, though, you kind of want to keep them pretty brief just because you want them to take that action of clicking on the renewal link and paying it. You can send all of that other information in a follow-up email or however you want to send that next step once they've renewed. But typically, we keep this one pretty brief, simply just guiding them to the renewal link. But you can tweak this how you would like. If you don't like how AI wrote it, you can change it. Another thing to point out, if you don't want to have to come up with how to change it yourself, we do have more AI part of PropFuel, and if you hit this little wand, it'll generate a new suggestion for you, and then you can tweak it from there too if you would like to. So it just words it in a different way. I liked the old one better, so I'm going to keep it as is and just quit out. But tweak anything you would like within here. Once you've finished editing, you'll hit Save Action so that it saves that landing page. And then in addition to redirecting them to the landing page, when they click Yes, I'd like to renew, we're also going to send them a follow-up email, which will look like it's coming from your like Outlook or Gmail or whatever email software you use. So it'll look like it's coming from there, and it basically is just going to provide them with some more information on how to renew and make sure that they're not only being brought to that landing page, but then they're also receiving the follow-up information on how to renew via email as well. So this is really nice and just making sure that they've got that second touch point with that renewal link so that you can try and get them to renew. If you want to tweak this at all, you certainly can. Similarly, you can use AI. You can pull in custom fields as well. So if you wanted to say, oops, we are excited to have, and then you'd hit this little ID card to pull in the company name, and you'd pull it over with organization. So we're excited to have whatever the input would be for that person's organization. So you could personalize it that way if you wanted to. You could change, again, the formatting or anything like that. You're also able to edit the subject line if you wanted to edit the subject line. You can customize it similarly with those tokens here. You also have full ability to change who it comes from and that reply to address as well. So if you wanted it to be different or if you wanted it to be a bit more personal, you could edit that information too. And then once you've finished editing, you'll hit Save Action. I kind of flew through that. So are there any questions on that first answer and workflows?
How will we go about sending this? Because we usually, for member communication, we usually send it through a Hotspot or CRM. How will we go ahead? Would be upload all the information here? I mean, I see the campaign, how we're doing it, but just curious.
Yeah, we'll get to that closer to the end. I'll show you how to do that with a test CSV file.
Okay.
But we can show you how to do that also. That's obviously the most important part is getting it out, but I just want to make sure that you all understand the various steps as well. So,
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Excuse me. Okay, if this one all looks good to you, you're gonna toggle it on, which basically means that workflow is now active. One kind of tip that I like is if I know I'm gonna keep editing like a landing page or an email or something like that, I like to keep my workflow off so that I know that I need to go back and edit it. And then when it's ready to go, I tend to toggle it on so that I know that workflow's done. I don't have to keep looking at it unless I need to, but it's good to go. And then I just want to point it out just because it's a cool additional feature. There's a lot more you can do than just show text on landing page and send email. There's all these various other things you can add to a workflow. So whether that be they've said no and you want to remove them, you want to update some sort of information in your AMS, you can do that as well. It would appear down here if you had it. Or you can update the contact field in PropFuel. You could add tags. So if they've said yes, they want to renew and you wanted to tag that to their contact in PropFuel so you remembered that, you could do that. We'll redirect to another question further along. You could redirect it to a URL. So if they said yes and you want to directly send them to where they can renew, you can do that. So you could add that in there too. You could also send an alert. So let's say someone said, yes, I'd like to renew, and they're a member you might want to follow up with, or you want to make sure that you're in touch with them about their renewal. You could send an alert to yourself whenever someone says, yes, I'd like to renew. It'll send to your email as a PropFuel alert, so you know to follow up with them or to change some sort of status on what they're indicating for their renewal as well. So there's a lot more you can do other than just show text and landing page or send an email. Those are just the two most common you'll see during your time in PropFuel. Okay, so that's the yes, I'd like to renew now. The next question or the next answer is yes, but I need more time. Again, we're going to show text on a landing page. And this is what was auto-generated. So that's okay. We'll remind you again before your membership ends. So there might be another check-in that you would add to this, or you would follow up separately right before the renewal, however you wanted to set that up. But basically, it's just like a thanks for letting us know, and here's a reminder of your benefits. So this might be where you need to do some tweaking depending on what AI generated for your benefits. We also recommend, or I'd recommend, linking some of these things so that they know how to look at those different benefits, which can be a bit time consuming to link them, but I think it's important at the same time. So let's say, for example, we wanted to link exclusive networking opportunities. You would highlight it, you'd hit the link button at the top, insert link, and then I want to drop in, I'm just going to drop in the PropFuel website. But you would add whatever link you needed to. And then the one thing to note is you will have to click open link in a new tab. So if you want to make sure that it's opened in separate tabs, and then you'd hit insert. So I'd recommend doing that for the various benefits just so people know where to look when they get this notification or this landing page. Then again, you'll hit save. We're not going to send a follow-up email to this one just because they said they need more time. So we don't need to also send them an email since we'll be in touch with them later on. So that kind of leaves it at that for that question, for that answer. So we'll turn that one on. And then for the no, I'm not renewing this year, this one's a little bit different because if they're saying no, we want to try and get as much information out of them as possible for why they're not going to renew the membership. I know that that's important information, just to one, knowing why they're discontinuing the membership, and then two, also in terms of trying to win them back either at that time or further along in the process, or further along after they've been a member. Just to have that data on them is important. So if they say no, we are going to redirect them to another question. And so to see how that next follow-up question is set up, you're going to hit this little like square with an arrow sticking out of it. Does everybody see that next to theirs? We all see it? Okay. So you'll hit that. It's going to open up a screen to your branch question. So to that question, you're going to ask and follow up to them saying no. So it's similar to how your initial check-in was set up, except for that your initial check-in was an email, and this is going to be a landing page. So it's going to redirect them to a landing page where it's going to ask this follow-up question. So that's why you won't see like the date at the top like you do here. It's just set up a little differently because it's a web page as opposed to an email. So don't think that that's a problem if there's no date at the top. It's supposed to be like that. And so within this, similarly to how we were just editing the original question, you'll edit this one the same way. So if you wanted to edit the question to change it to how you word the various things that common things that you see someone doesn't renew the membership for, you can edit those. It's going to default to these options, but You can certainly change them or delete them for what's most relevant for your association based on what you've seen. And then you'll also notice this one's a bit different because there is a follow-up question. And so I'll show you what that looks like, but it's basically gonna list the question and answers. And then at the bottom, there's also going to be a box that says tell us more where they can optionally add information. So if they were to say cost was why they didn't want to renew, they could add comments in there for something along the lines of the dues are too high, or I can't afford to go to the events anymore, whatever they want to say to give you a bit more detail on why they made that selection.
Laura, can I ask a question on that one? Because I think it's I thought it was interesting. Like for instance, when you look at the questions that you're asked, one is cost. For instance, we have a membership that is free. Can you basically give them information about the free membership, even though it's not as comprehensive as the other one? And then we have a retired membership that is substantially less. So can you give them all information on that one?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So that's what this next part will look at the workflows, because based on how they answer this question, you might want to redirect them to more information on how you already are doing things that are helping with these various reasons they're not wanting to keep the membership. So similarly to that email check-in, you'll go into the workflows and you'll see all of this is pre-populated as well. So to your point, Eduardo, if someone says cost and you click on the show text on landing page, it's going to auto-generate what it auto-generates, but here's where you might want to put like, did you know that we have a free membership? Have you considered exploring that? Typically, like when I was at an association, I liked to use this page to say, we understand that you're trying to stay on budget, but did you know that you save through your membership in these various ways? Because people love to see discounts correlated with cost. And so this is really your opportunity for like one last, hey, this is what you might miss out on if you discontinue the membership or whatever it might be. So I like to suggest doing whatever you can on this page to sort of try and win them back, or at least give them the information on what you can do to help with whatever their concern is. Does that make sense?
Complete.
So you'll want to probably tweak this page for yours. You might want to tweak it depending on what information you want to put on here. So
I'm stuck at the question text. I just changed it to, do you mind if we ask you why you are not renewing your membership? Require response. I'm not sure.
So require response means that they have to answer it. I think that's more of a preference, but Ashley, if you want to hop in there.
Yeah, this one I know it's a bit confusing, but there's not really anything you can do to require them to respond. Either they put something in and they click submit, or they leave the page. This is more for if you needed to ask multiple questions on a page and you want to require certain things. Like, it's really not going to come into this campaign. So you're welcome to keep it as a yes or just change it to a no either way.
So, but we should say no because it's not actually required.
I don't know if people will really like try to submit it without answer. There's not much we can do here to require it.
Okay, response data type.
Yep, same thing there. So all of these are advanced options that come into other campaigns that you'll learn about if you sign on with PropFuel. So I would just leave those as they are.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit cancel. Add question. Okay, question.
And you probably don't want to add a question. You'll just want to edit the existing question, only focusing on the question text and those options.
Okay. Well, now when I click on change, it says question type open-ended question. Like what?
You need to edit the one that has like the bullets with the lines next to it. If you had hit add question, it's going to automatically add it as an open-ended question.
Edit question.
But you're editing, you're probably editing this one of the why, or however you change the
Yeah,
wording.
yeah, I'm working on that. So why are you playing? So I changed the text in that, and then what's the next step? I think I thought I missed the next step. What should I click next?
Do you need to edit these?
See, that's the thing. I'm not when I do the option, I'm not seeing the option. Hold on.
Might make sense for Kelly to share.
Yeah.
Workflows. No, I don't want workflows.
Do you want to share your screen really fast, Kelly?
Sure.
While Kelly gets her screen up, Jackie had a question. Are any associations using this for general membership surveys? Claire, do you want to take that or you want me to?
You could take it. Go ahead.
So Jackie, yeah, I have some clients who are using it for membership surveys. I would say definitely not just that because we're a little bit different than a survey. And you'll come to find there are some things you can do in SurveyMonkey that you can't do in PropFuel. But I also say like if you have the tool, use it for everything. So we can definitely help you with how to set those up.
Okay, Kelly. So you'll hit the pencil. And then it changed type. Okay, you need to at the top go to multiple choice.
Oh, now I can add the option.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was like, I'm not even seeing the option button. Okay. Okay.
Yep. And then you'll need to add in whatever. And if you want me to list what was on it, I certainly can. But it's cost.
Okay. Okay. Added in
Time. I didn't use the benefits. I'm retiring. I've left the field. And something else.
Oh.
And then hit save. And then, sorry, there is a follow-up question. It's tell us more. Yeah. And then you'll go into workflows is where we are now.
Okay.
Okay, it didn't save any of them.
No, they're there. I didn't get, yeah, they're there.
But there should have been workflows automatically tied to them. Can you click on saved workflows for me?
I'll let me see if I can get Cameron to fix it while we're on.
Okay.
I'll see if he can. This is
So Kelly, when you changed it from multiple to open, it got rid of the like automatically generated workflows that were tied to your answers.
Oh, okay.
So Ashley's gonna check with our developer to see if he can fix it.
Yeah, and notice when I click on change, it automatically starts with question type and switched off to multiple choice.
So you don't have to edit
Oh.
that part. You only have to
Okay.
edit where the pencil is. So the
Okay.
three most important parts are the pencil, the workflows, and the gear.
Okay.
And that part's set up correctly. So Ashley just needs to check with our developer to see if you could pull in what those automatically generated workflows were.
Okay.
Could I have you stop sharing so I can, well, I guess I
Yeah.
can override you probably and share. So,
Yeah, I'll just do stop share.
okay.
All right.
Did everyone see
Hey,
my
Rob.
screen again?
I walked away for 2 seconds because I need a little break.
Does anyone else, while Kelly's taking that, does anyone else need a break? We can take a break if we need it.
I'll be right back.
No one else? All right, we'll keep going while Cameron hopefully figures out Kelly's workflows. So we've edited the question. Again, we're going to go through the various workflows and make sure that they're set up how you would like them to be. So we talked about cost. If you wanted to change this page to be more focused on how they could save through the membership or however you want to work that. And then you'll turn it on once it looks good. Similarly, time. So however you might want to word that they can save time through the membership, whether that be like access to online resources or access to recorded content that they can do at their own pace. That's what I like to use, is whatever you have that they can do at their own pace on their own time. That seems to be a good kind of connection to time if you wanted to do that. I didn't use the benefits. Here's where you probably would want to highlight all the benefits that they receive. You could either list them all out as a bullet, or if you do have like a brochure or anything like that, it's a great opportunity to add that in here as well, just so it's an easy, quick thing they can click on and save themselves. I'm retiring. So this will be dependent on your association, as I know some have retirement memberships. So if you wanted to put some more information in here on what the retired membership looks like, how they can become a part of it, this is where you might want to add some more of those details. So Eduardo, to your point about having a retired membership, you might want to add that information in here if you wanted to.
Yeah. That'll be good.
I've left the field. It's just a thank you for letting us know. We hope you'll come back when the time's right type situation. And then something else. Ashley, shouldn't this redirect to another question?
No. So the way that this one, yeah, it's a little bit different. The way that this one works is because we're giving them a follow-up question. So everyone, regardless of how they answer, is getting the follow-up question that says, I think it says, tell us more. Now, even if they click something else, they still have a box where they can tell you more. After that, they're getting the thank you for letting us know. So it's a little bit different than how it's usually.
So if they fill out the tell us more, they'll be brought to that page that says thanks for letting us know. So that's just if any of their concerns or issues don't fit into any of these. It's going to let them fill that out, and then it will bring them to a landing page saying thank you. And then finally, the last workflow in here is if it's filled, if they've answered it at all, it's going to send an alert to yourself or whoever you want to send an alert to, notifying them that this individual answered the question this way. So this is really good, especially for the ones that are discontinuing the membership, so that you have that data and can keep track of it, or reach out to them with, if it is cost or something like that, reach out to them for discussions on if you can offer a discount or things like that. So it's nice to set these alerts up to be able to have that information at your fingertips. So in order to set up this alert, you'll select the recipient. You're probably the only person that can pop up right now, but you can add email addresses too. So if you wanted to add like a membership for example, you could add that email address as well, or you can just send the alert to yourself. The subject line, you can change it if you want to, but right now it's renewal check-in, not renewing reason, and then you can add some email text as well. So you could add, please make sure to follow up with this person regarding their membership or whatever you wanted to add here. Then when someone fills it out, depending on what they click, you will get that notification in your inbox saying so-and-so has filled out the not renewing question with this answer response. So again, great for following up or updating any information in your databases or however you track your renewals. And then we'll switch that one on as well. So this one has a lot more landing pages for you to kind of look through and edit, as well as that sending an alert to you or to others on your team as well. And Kelly, Ashley just posted in the chat that your workflow should be back in there if you want to refresh your screen. So you should see a 7 over your workflows if it updated. You're muted, Kelly, if you're talking.
Okay, yeah, there's I see a bunch of questions in here now.
You see them now?
Mhm.
Okay, so you see
Okay.
the 7 over the workflows?
Uh, my Sorry guys, my screen, it seems like every time I just make any clicks, it pops up on some other random website. I'm having a horrible time with my like. Yeah, I see the 7. I think every time I make a click, some random website
A
opens.
different
I just
tab.
have some kind of virus or something. Just it's been plaguing me. Yeah, I see the 7.
Okay, cool. And so you'll just want to go through these and tweak them as appropriate as well with the information
Okay,
on each of those landing pages. And then for the
cool.
alert, you'll just adjust it to be whoever you want the alert to go to, whether that's yourself or you add a new email address. And then you can edit the email text as well if you want some other note alongside of that to go with it.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions on the no follow-up question?
Would you recommend making them the offer like, please remove me from all future communications? Just sometimes I'm tired of following up with people.
So this one will so if you go back into the normal like the normal check-in question, which should just be on your left tab most recently. This one, once they've answered no, I'm not renewing, which is the second, or once they've answered no, I'm not renewing, and they're redirected to that question, they're automatically going to be removed from this campaign. So if you were to have multiple other emails or multiple other check-ins, they're going to get removed from them because they've already indicated
From the
no.
campaign. But like I'm just on the lapsed. If I eventually do like a lapsed member one, I'm like ready to say, do you wish to be unsubscribed from all AFS communications? Just to wipe them off the list.
So they can, all of the emails will have an opportunity to unsubscribe from Prop Fuel emails.
Okay.
In terms of opting out of all emails, Ashley, do you have a tip for that one?
Yeah, I would say with prop fuel emails, it inherently like you have more insight into why they're not clicking or why not they're not rejoining. So if they say no, you can pull a list of those people and then choose for your future campaigns if you just want to wipe those people out or if you want to just not do something with them. So I wouldn't give them the option to say no and don't ever contact me again because then like your hands are kind of tied. But the no in itself, you can still choose to go ahead and honor that in future campaigns. And also too, we have a what's called a dormant member win back campaign that we suggest you run. So that goes to people 12 months after they lapse. And if you're setting it up in the right way, then people are just automatically enrolling into these different campaigns and then being taken out and they're kind of just rolling in the background. And so again, I wouldn't give them the option to completely unsubscribe because then you can't go back to them a year from now and try to win them back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Liz asked, is there an option in future development for the alert to be sent via text as opposed to email?
Yeah, really good question. Currently there's not. Since everything we're doing is through email, it's certainly something we can put on our developers like wish list. But we haven't heard anything about that.
Any other questions? Okay, so that should be everything that you need to do with that branch question for no, I'm not renewing. So all of the workflows will be turned on. If you're still editing them, that's okay, but just make sure you turn those workflows on before you send the campaign out, just so that they are active, they're working actively. So turn all of those on before you send it out. The only other thing I want to show you real quick on this page, you could view what this check-in is going to look like, just so you can get an idea. Obviously, we'll send ourselves a test so you can see what the full kind of campaign looks like. But if you wanted to just get a quick snippet of what it looks like, this is what it currently appears as on that landing page of why are you not planning to renew? They can select it. They can tell you more. If they were to hit time, for example, it's going to open them up to, again, that page of we understand. Here's the benefits of how we help you save time or whatever it might be. So operates very similar to the emails, except for that it's a landing page, and then it might bring you to another landing page with some more information. Anything else before we move back into the email? Okay, so the branch question should have been on your rightmost tab. If you wanted to go back into the campaign, you could either click campaigns here, or it's probably on your left tab, just because you've opened it up into a separate tab. So we've looked at that branch question. Everything looked good. We already talked about the remove from campaign of if they say no, they're going to be removed from this campaign. So we can turn this last workflow on. And that covers the 3 answers and the 3 actions with those answers. So that should mean that all of the workflows should be up to date and good to go. So we've now edited and checked the question. We've edited the workflows. And so the third place that you need to look at are the templates. So within the gear icon, you'll click on templates. And these are your 3 templates. There's an email, a check-in page, and a thank you. The check-in page is basically what we just built of that page with other answers and questions. The thank you page is basically the landing pages that we built out for those that said yes. But we'll want to edit the email. So we'll hit, it should have auto-generated the templates for you. Are you all seeing a template there? It's probably white, but we'll go in and edit it. Okay. So you'll hit edit. And then here is what was auto-generated for your email. We always suggest having some sort of intro text so that they know what the question is that they're about to answer. So whether that be we're checking in to see your plans on your renewal, we hope you enjoyed the benefits. We want to check in. We always recommend adding in the intro text as well. It also already auto-generated the signature line, but if you wanted to tweak that, you certainly could. If you wanted to add any sort of images or additional text field or text blocks, you can add anything to this using the plus sign in the top left corner. So if you wanted to add another image or you wanted to add an image with text, you could. We sometimes see people add to their signature their headshot. So if you wanted to add your signature to your headshot to your signature, you would just add in the image with text. Yeah, text with image, and you drop that in with the headshot, and then the text next to it with your signature. So you could certainly do that. You also can edit in here the colors. So if you wanted to change the footer color, you could change it to whatever you wanted to change it to. You can change the color of the text. There's really a lot you can customize here. The only thing that you cannot customize is this block, or is the text in this block. You can customize the background color and you can customize the button color, but you cannot customize this. This is sample text. That's because this is where that question is going to get pulled in. So this is where that are you planning to renew question is going to get dropped. So you can't edit this. It'll automatically pull in what your question for that check-in is. But you can edit like the background color, the button or the button color, everything like that. Another thing that I typically recommend doing is trying to personalize if you can. So if you wanted to put Dear Clara or Dear whoever's first name it is, you can add someone's first name and personalization through that bracket with the S. So I've dropped in first name. So it would say Dear Clara or Dear whoever the member is to personalize it. So that covers everything within the actual email. On the right-hand side, you'll see the settings for the email. So It's going to pull in what you put into that form at the beginning, but if you wanted to change who it comes from, you certainly could. Again, to the conversation earlier, we recommend it coming from a person if you can. The reply to, you can change that if you'd like to. And then you can also edit the subject line too. So if you wanted to make it different, you could. You also have the ability to pull in those personalization tokens here too. So if you wanted to pull in someone's first name, you could, or their organization name. And then again, if you wanted to use AI, the wand is available here too to help you generate a subject line. Any questions on the email template? Everyone able to edit theirs if they wanted to? Okay, cool. So if it looks good to you, you'll hit Save Template, and it'll save it. If you ever needed to go back in again, you could hit Edit and tweak anything else that you'd like to.
I don't have as many edit buttons as you do, like, or maybe, okay, I got that, I got that, I got that. Click on the, like the greater than less than signs on yours. Oh, that's a code.
That's
Okay.
that's
Code.
something that only we have access to. You won't be
No
able to
problem.
see that, but it's the
Okay.
HTML code.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good catch that you caught that. But that's what that is. And only we can see it. But yours should have this one. And then if you wanted to see what it looked like on a phone
phone.
screen,
I
yeah.
see.
That's what that one is. And then the colors and all of these different things. But you won't have the little carrots. Any other questions? For the check-in page and the thank you page, it's going to automatically pull in the defaulted templates that are in your account. So that's just probably it's called simple. It'll automatically pull that in if you don't select it, so you can either select it or leave it. Sometimes I like to select it just to know that it's there, even though it will be there. But just as a double check, I like to select it too. But so there's the email template. There's the check-in page, which is what that page is when they're going to be redirected to that no, I'm not renewing page. And then the thank you page, even though it's called a thank you page, it's sometimes a thank you page, but also sometimes that landing page that we've set up for various workflows as well. Does everybody have their templates set up and in there?
Where's the email settings button?
Sorry? Kelly, did you have a question?
Get to that particular pop-up window, the email settings. Which one did you
hit the little gear?
The gear?
And templates.
Okay, I was in templates before. It was just sort of like under the check-in page. Okay.
But you'd hit edit.
Okay, mine it looks a little different than yours, but yeah.
And then it either
Essentially the
you
same
can add in a template if you wanted to, or it'll just default to what you're.
Okay.
But you want to always edit the email one, at least.
Okay.
Any
So
other?
I was there, but like I said, mine looked a little different. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably because I had selected the templates. I went kind of fast through that. But again, you don't have to select them. It'll just default to what's in your templates. But if you had multiple different templates, you might want to select the check-in and the thank you page just to make sure you're using the right templates there.
Okay.
So now we've edited the question, we've edited the workflows, we edited that branch question, and we've edited the template. So those are all the various areas that you need to edit a prop fuel campaign. So with that, everything on my side looks good. So I think I'm ready to upload the list of contacts who I want to get this email. And so I'll show you how to do that if we feel good about the at least design side of it. Everyone good to move on to the uploading of contact side? Well,
Mhm.
I know, Eduardo, this is the part you've been waiting for, so I'm sorry you had to sit there 45 minutes of that, but at least we're getting there. So to add contacts to your campaign, you'll hit enrolled contacts. And then I have a test CSV file ready to go, but you'll just need your file that you're going to upload. It always has to be a CSV file to be uploaded to PropFuel, so just know that ahead of time. But you'll hit upload contacts, then select file. And then I've got this test list. So you'll upload the test list, and then these are my CSV file titles, and you'll just want to import it for the various fields it needs to be. So first name is first name, last name is last name, email is email, and company is organization. So there's some differences sometimes between the two. So just make sure to double check it. And then once that's all mapped correctly, you'll hit review import. And I want to import them to this campaign. And I'm adding the context to this campaign. If you for some reason needed to remove, you could remove, but for this purpose, we're adding them. And then there's only two people on the list, it's Ashley and I, but this is where you could do a quick double check before you hit import contacts. And then it'll import them. Sometimes it takes a second, depending on how big the list is.
When you import contacts, is there any notification that they get when you've imported them?
No, only they'll be added to the first thing they'll be added to is the campaign, and then they'll get that first campaign, but there's no like, you're a new contact in PropFuel or anything like that.
But even when they're added to that campaign doesn't run until I go
Until
in.
you tell it to run. Yep.
I don't mean to be dumb, but are you importing them new every time or?
Yeah. You'll import them new every time, and then it'll overwrite the information, right, Ashley?
Yeah, so, and like, sorry to answer in a wordy way, but if you sign on with PropFuel, we'll probably connect with your actual database, and then that way you don't have to import them new every time. You'll kind of create queries where it'll import them and export them automatically. For something like this, though, if you needed to import people with a CSV file into every campaign, it's new every time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Claire's right. It'll update, like if let's say next week you import a new CSV file that has some of the same people that you just imported. If you put new information in the second time, it's going to update their PropFuel record with that new information.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions on the import?
As people click on, no, I'm not renewing, I'm retiring, or I'm out of the field, PropFuel will know to remove those from future campaigns even? Like,
They'll know
if
to
you
remove it
load a
from,
new list, like,
it'll know to remove them from that particular campaign because it has
Okay.
removed from campaign as a workflow action.
okay. So we should basically export the list post campaign for any that, are not renewing or, whatever, get removed. So that we can remove them from our own lists.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what Ashley was saying with, I think, your unsubscribe question of this campaign is just going to remove them from that campaign. But if you wanted to remove them from like all communications that you send, regardless of if it's through PropFuel or something else, you're probably going to want to export that list of the no's
Export and doing it on
and
our
then edit it wherever you need to edit it.
Okay.
But you will see, so once you've hit back to campaign, we've enrolled the contacts. If you needed to add more, you certainly could upload more. But we're now seeing that both Ashley and I are in here. Our status is active. If one of us were to say, no, I'm not or I'm not renewing, and that would automatically remove us from the campaign, the status is going to change to removed. So you can kind of see who those people, you'll see it in the history of when you are able to pull those reports. But if you wanted to like get a quick glance, our statuses would change to removed if we had hit no.
So is the best way to run these campaigns each month, the November renewals, the December renewals, or do you just keep the same campaign active and you just keep connecting the emails?
So, I'm assuming that means that you guys are like a monthly renewal. There's not like one date that they're renewing each year.
There's not one date.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say monthly, it's like all different days in the
Yeah.
month.
So
But I
we have, so for this campaign, this is a scheduled campaign, but for most of our other campaigns that we have blueprints for, we have the option for a sequence or a scheduled campaign. And then also if you were to set up your own campaigns from scratch, we have those options. So for company or for associations where they have like an anniversary where they all renew at the same time, scheduled campaigns are great because you can set it out however many days in advance. For those that have more rolling renewals, those sequence campaigns are great because it'll add in based on when you want them to get that first reminder. And so it'll pull it from if we were to get connected to your connector and you join Prop Fuel, like it'll pull those people in that are 60 days out from renewal into the campaigns on more of a rolling basis. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So this is not an ideal example then for you because it's scheduled, but we have the option to do sequence campaigns where it pulls them in more regularly.
So quick question about this type of campaign. Would we let's say we have two types of emails that we send, transactional and marketing campaigns. So my question is, let's say they get taken out of the marketing email, but we don't want them to take those people out of the transactional emails. Could we just make sure that that's because the transactions they do need to get that information regardless
Yeah.
of whether they unsubscribe or not. When they unsubscribe completely, they would be unsubscribed for both, or just they would be unsubscribed for just one.
Yeah, this is a good question that came up for Ashley and I last week. Because obviously there is, to your point, a difference between more of a general kind of marketing email versus those emails where they actually need to receive them. So, Ashley, I'm going to let you elaborate a bit more on what a solution and workaround is for that.
Yeah, because Eduardo, I'm teaching Clara tomorrow how to solve for that. So that's why we're both smiling. So yeah, when you sign on with PropFuel, out of the box, the unsubscribe function is just an unsubscribe button at the bottom, and then they confirm their unsubscribe. But we could set up custom unsubscribe links for you where it allows people to tell you like, I don't want to get these emails or I do want to get these other emails. And then it encourages them to stay opted in and just, tell you like what they want. And then from there, they'll keep getting their transactional emails. You do still in PropFuel need to have a true unsubscribe option. But we can, since it's a custom page, you can tell them this means you won't get your renewal transactional emails and this and that. And again, it'll dissuade them from actually unsubscribing.
Perfect.
It's a great question and very timely. Like Ashley mentioned.
Yeah.
Other questions? Okay, cool.
So yeah. So if we're not doing this today, like right now, like we can come in and start editing and tweaking our account anytime we want to.
Yep. So I'll show you how to go live, but you do not have to go live right now. You have, I think what Ashley said was like 2 months or a month to actually get it live. So you don't have to do it today, but you will want to go back in and tweak it and set it live. But I'll show you how to do that if we're ready for that last final step. So give me a thumbs up if we're ready for that last step.
Okay. If I disappear for a second, just because we have a contractor who just got here, so hold on. I'm coming right back.
All right, I'll wait to go live then. But I'll show you all how to send tests to yourself in the meantime. So you saw me do it with the other one, but you always want to send, in addition to making sure that the web or the landing pages and the emails and everything like that look right in those workflows, you always want to send yourself a test just to make sure that it's looking right from an email standpoint. So we will 1 month. To access the account. Yep. And so we'll send ourselves a test real quick just so that you can double check what it looks like and really see what it looks like. So you'll hit that gear icon and then send test email. Again, your email is the only one that should pop up. So then you'll hit send. And then I want to go back into my inbox. And this is my email. So you just want to make sure that the text all matches what you had updated in that email template. If you added anything, just make sure it looks right. And then you want to click through each of these options just to make sure that it matches what edits you had made. So yes, I'd like to renew now. We want to make sure that this matches what you had put in to your landing page. Check that the links work. If we say, yes, I need more time, just make sure that this landing page matches and that all the links work here. And then that the no, I'm not renewing, which is the one question that redirects, that it's popping up with the various different options. If you wanted to test out here and say, or whatever you wanted to do to test to make sure that it's working, and then hit submit, you could test there as well. And one thing, I'm going to show this to you real fast because we don't want to say thanks for letting us know twice. We have the ability to edit this, so let's go back into the campaign. So that's why it's great to test, because then you can see that it says it twice and you don't want to say that twice. So we'll go back into the campaign and we'll go to that branch question. So hit that square with the arrow. It might still be open on your page. I think I quit out of it. But you'll go in here and you'll hit the settings and then templates. And then it's the thank you page that we want to tweak. So we're going to hit edit. And then what I typically do is I just delete this thanks for letting us know.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you wanted to add space in here, sometimes you have to add in like 20px is usually my go-to, but you can tweak it however you like, and then hit save. And so now if they were to hit that same option, it should appear as, and we can do it again since we're in a test account, but I can show you. Now it should only appear as, yeah, thank you for letting us know. So that's how you edit it if you wanted to get rid of any of those thank yous or whatever it might be at the top of the pages. And you do the same thing in your check-in as well if you wanted to tweak the in the check-in, if you wanted to tweak the question that it's asking or the text at the top of it. So if we wanted to get rid of the we don't need to tweak that one, but this one, if we wanted to get rid of the thank you here, we could edit that here as well. We can get rid of it. We could change it. It's all personalizable or customizable. So other than that, always run tests, make sure it all looks good. Make sure you're double checking everything. But yeah, any questions before I show you how we get it going?
I guess quick question on reporting. How does it look like on the reporting side?
Yep. So once a campaign is scheduled and sent out, thanks, Liz. And Laura, I guess, hopped off too. So once the campaign is sent out, it will move from design to history, and it's already appearing because I had run so many tests that you can see it in here. But this is where you'll see how many were sent out, what the engagement rate is. You can see how certain people answered, so you can see who may have said yes, no, or yes, I need more time. You can see what people had selected as well. So if you wanted to view the responses, you can see that I hit something else, but you'd see the various different options that people select as well. So that gives you kind of the general overview of how the campaign went. And then these metrics at the top are kind of your overview for the entirety of the campaign as well. And you can export it if you needed to.
Okay. How would this integrate to HubSpot, or would be it'll be something parallel to HubSpot?
Ashley, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the HubSpot documentation to make sure I tell you the right thing. We have so many connectors that I just want to make sure. So there's a couple of things you can do with HubSpot. If you have contact lists in HubSpot, you can pull those over into PropFuel. So people who are in that can be pulled over to PropFuel. And then in PropFuel, it's kind of cool. So this is with a lot of our connectors. You have the ability to ask a question in PropFuel and then send the information over back to HubSpot for that person. So you can fill in their contact field with their response, or you can create a task in HubSpot. I'm going to put in the chat, I'll put the help documentation for it so you can kind of dig into that on your own time and see if that's something you might want to do. I would not suggest it, Eduardo, for this one. I wouldn't suggest it since we don't have the connector set up, but certainly when you sign on with PropFuel, we would suggest doing it.
Okay. I appreciate it because I know we work with it, and then our marketing department works with it. So we will have to have some integration in order for us to be able to work with PropFuel.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, so now that everything looks good to go, we can set the campaign as live. So you'll want to first make sure it's on the date that you want to send it. So this is a test on our part, but I'm going to set it to the 20th for this week, but change it to whatever date you want to send it based on when it's ready to go, and then hit confirm. You'll see the date will update, so that's the date that it'll go. The other thing you can adjust within these emails is the sending window. So if you wanted to adjust it, this is going to go between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., but you could adjust it to what works best for you. So if you wanted to do 9 to 12, you could. These are your various window options. It's a window because it's going to get put into a queue and then sent out based on what else is in the queue. So it'll go sometime between that window. So you can't set an exact time. So we want to update that. And that was in settings in case I went a little too fast, but it's in settings all the way down at send times and reminders. So we've adjusted the date. We've made sure that it's at the right time that you want to send it. Before we can change this campaign status from draft to live, we have to turn that branch question to live first. If you were to try and send the actual campaign to live, it's going to give you an error and tell you that you need to set the branch questions as live. So to do that, you could either go into the campaign and change this to live and select go live. Make sure your workflows are all pulled out or are all turned on for these various selections as well. Or instead of going that way, you can always hit these three buttons. I've already gone live, but there would have been a go live option next to those three buttons. And so once that branch question's live, there was only one for this one, but in some of the future ones you might do, there might be multiple, so you just need to make sure they're all turned on. You'll go back into the main campaign and you'll change this from draft to go live. And so now it's live and it's going to get sent sometime between 9 and 12 a.m. on November 20th. So you can just let it do its thing. Obviously, you can make any edits ahead of before that date if you want to. I would probably suggest keeping it in draft until you're really fully ready to go, and then turning it to active just so that you can kind of let it do its thing. But you could certainly make any tweaks as you need to. I know things change, so yeah, that's kind of all of it in terms of getting out that renewal email. So are there any questions at this time?
So when I'm trying to test, it's giving me a server error.
Yeah, Jackie, what server error is it? Does it say like 400, 500? 500? Try clicking, actually, do you mind sharing your screen real quick and showing what part you're trying to test?
Yes.
Pull up the account.
Okay. So if I go to view test check-in, I get the server error.
Yeah, so you probably have to, sometimes you just have to, when you run a blueprint, it can happen. So you want to just change the template. So go back into the gear
Okay.
and then templates.
Mhm.
Um, and then go into choose template for check-in page
Okay.
and then click that one. And then just do it for the thank you page just to be safe.
Okay.
And then hit close. And now try sending yourself.
Uh, that would be why. Okay.
So sometimes you have to select the so it's a funky thing where sometimes you have to like select or edit the templates in order for it to not give you that error.
Okay.
That's good that happened because we can show you how to fix it now. So
Okay, cool.
anything else?
Quick question. I'm looking at the links. Do you have to press select submit every time you get one of those? There's no way to just choose it and automatically goes to the next question, correct?
No, you have to hit submit. For the
For the
now
campaign.
option,
Yeah.
now you have to hit submit.
Okay.
Yeah, the
The
reason
landing pages, you have to hit submit. Or
the
the
re
check-in pages.
for the check-in pages, yeah. For the
Mm.
first email, it immediately takes the action, but we find sometimes people change their mind after they submit. And so that's why we want it to be a very intentional submit.
Okay.
There shouldn't be a lot of space though between the submit button and the answer choices. Eduardo, is that what you're seeing on your template?
No, it's just like it might be a lot easier if it's just give them one option, click, and then that's gone. That's
Exactly.
why.
Yeah.
And then just selecting and then click submit, it's okay, but I just want to make sure I get that answer, I get that first initial, you know?
Yep. Yeah, we've heard that from other clients as well, and we definitely have that on the dev wish list. Like, is there any way to just make the action happen?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Awesome. Well, if there's nothing else, we hope that you'll get your campaigns live and see how great PropFuel is and all that it can do to help with your renewals. If you have any questions, I believe Robson, they'll reach out to you.
Myself and like the sales team. So like Lisa, Ryan, Mike, Brittany.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, you'll reach out to them and then they'll triage it to us if there's things we need to help with. But yeah, hopefully you get your campaigns live and hopefully you can see how it changes kind of the renewal process for your association. And it was lovely to meet all of you. I'll hang on
Thank
here for
you.
another second just in case there's any other questions. But other than that, it was great to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for all
Thank you,
the
guys.
extra questions and stuff.
Of course, that's what we're here for.
Okay.